Howdy folks, Danny coming at you from Bulldog Smith Farms with another knife review. And today I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. Not too long ago I showed you a McNees Dixie, big old beautiful titanium frame lock with a big beautiful hollow ground MagnaCut blade, titanium clip, and today I'm going to go in the other direction, but I'm going to stick with McNees for just a little while. Now, I was going to do this the other day, and I ended up not getting around to it. What I was going to do was I had two of these, and one was black and silver, and the other one was brown and black. The one I got rid of, I ended up trading it to a guy for another knife that I'm going to review, and it was a titanium knife, whereas this one is an aluminum knife. Other than knowing that, you wouldn't know that. They pretty much exactly the same. I don't have a scale yet, but I'm guessing they weigh almost exactly the same thing. They felt the same. And this is a McNees Mac 2 Auto that we like to call an AutoMac, and it is a brown FDE finish with a black DLC blade. Let me do that again. I wasn't ready for that. Woo, son. It's powerful for a little, you know, not a little knife. You still get a full purchase on it, but it's a much smaller knife than a Dixie, certainly. Much smaller knife, and a really pocket-friendly knife. Lightweight and fits great in the pocket. Fairly thin, although not exceedingly so. Nice blade stock. I love the finish on these. I love that smooth velvety finish. I like titanium, and if it is finished really nicely, I love it. The type of washed finish like this has on it, not my favorite. I would like to, I'm going to eventually get one that's, you know, got some color on it and design, and I've got a few in mind that I'd like to get because I love that knife. But this guy I really like to carry, and it just disappears in your pocket. And it has a little McNees right there on that side. Again, very tastefully done. And we've got a flag right there, and a MagnaCut right there on the back. A titanium clip, and it's not a deep carry clip, but we are fixing to order a nice Lynch Northwest clip for this guy, and their black Cerakote. I think it'll go great with it. My other one had a Lynch Northwest clip on it that matched the hardware and the blade on that knife perfectly. And I was going to have that for video, but this is my memory and my health. It's just stops me some days. And I didn't want to hold the fella up on getting his knife, and I wanted to get my knife too, which I will tell you about at a later date. It's the first knife of that brand that I'm going to get. And of course, I love the button on these. When you have arthritis and gout and carpal tunnel and all the things, it can be hard to open some knives. And I love traditional knives, case pocket knives and GECs and at all, but they can be hard for me to open these days. And I love how this McNees, those holes, that's easy for me. Even that frame lock, pretty easy for me. I love a good flipper, and I'll give you all a little sneak peek at this one. And I haven't showed you this one yet, but it's a flipper, and that is just perfect for me. Button lock, and I will probably do that next. And that is a ProTech Mordax. It's freaking nice. I'll just say that, it's really nice. But this beautiful thing is just perfect. I don't know that there's anything else I would do with this. I'm trying here lately. There are knives I would like to have all the versions. Most knives are not that way. I would like to have one perfect one. And this is about as close to perfect as a McNees AutoMac is going to get. Now, they might make another one that comes out and I just got to have it. I'm not going to promise nothing about that. But I love this one. I love that black DLC blade. Love that FDE color. I love the combination of brown and black together, green and black. But brown and black has really been something that I've really been enjoying here lately. And I want to tell you, pull these up here. My memory's not that long. And just keep knocking stuff over. And tell you a little bit about it just on the spec side. And it is a 7.5 inch automatic pocket knife, featuring a 3.5 inch blade, Magna Cut steel, and it's a lightweight aluminum on this one. Handle weighing in at about 3.6 ounces. And it utilizes a fast push button mechanism, a button lock, and a tip up pocket clip optimized for EDC and high performance materials. So we've got a 7.5 overall length. That's 191 millimeters for you people in Europe. It is a 3.5 inch blade. That's 3.375 inches of cutting edge. And blade materials Magna Cut. Blade thickness is 0.016 or 4 millimeters. And handle material on this one is aluminum. Comes in a lot of different colors and finishes. Although they have not made a lot of these recently. They had a big year dropping the Dixie, and they've just now been releasing some smaller Mac 2s, 3-inch Mac 2s, and so they're working their way back through their line. And I know this year they're coming out with a whole bunch of different fixed blades. I believe I saw the other day that Johnathan said 6. I think there might have been a 7th one in there of just fixed blades that they're coming out with this year. So they've really got a lot going on down there. You know, it's just a little shop at their home. It's a pretty big shop. It's a nice shop. It's not their garage that they started in, but still, it's just a small local business. So they're really committing to a lot of time, and just bringing out that Dixie was a big thing this year. So I am hoping to get a 3.5-inch Mac 2, and then I want to get a 3-inch Mac 2, or whichever one comes first. And it may just be that a Dixie comes along and I've got the money and it's the perfect one. But I really want to get both of those Mac 2s and check them out and have those in my collection. So this guy, like I said, 3.6 ounces or so. And I know in the past, I've seen the black ones and the brown ones. And I know there were others, but I've never seen, they say that they even had acid atomic stonewash finishes. I've never seen one. I'm pretty new to this. So, you know, I've only even known that McNees was a thing in existence for a year, maybe. And I fell in love with them, and especially being that they're right here so close to me. And these here, they come with a flat grind, but the two that I have are hollow grounds, and they're fantastic. And I'm kind of regretting getting rid of the other one, but the knife that I'm getting in place of it is going to really add something very different to my collection. And you know, money's always tight, so it came down to either trade something or not get it. And so I'm hoping that I'm really going to like it, because I really liked my other Mac too. But this guy is simply perfection. A lot of people are a little bit not auto people, and I am an auto guy. Like I said, when you have all of these various hand issues, having something that you can just push a button and it opens, that can really be a great advantage, and it is to me. And when I was growing up, you could not buy an automatic knife, so it's a pretty cool thing that I was like, oh, I gotta get some autos, because when I was a kid, you couldn't buy one. They were illegal, right? When I was growing up in South Florida, you couldn't buy even fireworks, and it seems like they're everywhere now. But you certainly couldn't buy what they called a switchblade back then, and things like this didn't even exist. Certainly not a quality like this. And so I have quite a few autos now, And let's see what I got here. Just sitting right here with me. This is one of my autos, right? Well, this big old stitch, Microtech stitch, and you can see that's a big old knife compared to this guy. So this is a lot more likely to end up in my pocket than my stitch. But, you know, that auto, I mean, come on. I've got to get a manual in that too. And it's in the works. And of course, this guy right here, my Medusa, my Heretic Medusa in cell shade, which is made to look like, that's not you, it is made to look like a comic book knife. And if you lay it on the table and take a picture of it, it looks like a photo laying there. That guy, get a hold of it good. These are a lot more, maybe power per square inch, like like this stitch. It's a lot of power. It's a big knife with a lot of power, and this knife is substantially smaller. And I went to get a Pariah, and they said this one will go in your pocket better than Medusa will. And I couldn't buy both at the time, but I really wanted this OD green Medusa or Pariah that was in cell shade, and I'm gonna have to talk to them about seeing if there's one still around I can get. But that guy, I just love, right? I mean, it's crazy. And if you can't tell, I love knives with that kind of blade shape. I have quite a few fixed blades. I'm working on more fixed blades that are in that kind of a shape. And I recently showed a T-Kill Taylor's Ridge, and the reason I went with that as my first Taylor's Ridge was exactly because of that kind of drop pointy, a lot of belly, big, blade. So I really like them. But this guy, that drop point and belly, that's my perfect pocket knife right there. And it's got a good bit of jimping right here, just right for right where your thumb wants to fall. And it could go a little further out, maybe, but it's got a good bit of jimping right there. It's easy to hold, and in a pinch grip, I can get up on it pretty good and lock in right behind those scales and get a good purchase on that guy. And I can get up here, although I don't want to get too far forward, but I can get up here a little bit and really get up in there for some nice detail work. If you have a knife that you keep in your pocket, it kind of has to do a little of everything, right? It needs to be able to just cut things, skin things, slice, cut lunch, cut a dadgum can open if emergency happens, So you need to be able to get a hold of that thing really good. And let's say you're getting in a can of Beanie Weenies, right? You got to be able to knock that thing down in there and have enough, to work that thing around that can. A lot of y'all, maybe you never had to do that in your life, but I've had to do that a many times out in the woods. And a lot of times the only thing there was to eat was some Beanie Weenies, or pork and beans and bread and a pork and bean sandwich, or sardines, something like that. And so sometimes especially out in the woods, you don't have a can opener. And I hadn't joined the Marines yet and even knew that they made those little bitty can openers that we used in the service. But this guy will do the job. I've had to many times open something. Let me get you flipped back around. There we go. Something popped up on the screen there. But I've had to many times use a regular old pocket knife, and I'll show you this one just because it's right here. And this is a knife that my pop carried. It's a 1978 yellow handle, synthetic handled knife, and my pop always carried. That's what he always carried. And I can't tell you how many times I have had to take one of these and open a can of beans in it. Well, if you know anything about these old pocket knives, they will close on your hand. So you're being extra careful to put pressure this way when you're opening that can. And once in a while you shut one on yourself. These things just happen. But this is a really special knife. And I'm blind. I can't hardly see anymore. And like I said, my hands, you get that open there, and like that. I like that. Those are that's Pawpaw's knife, right? That's my pop's knife. My pawpaw or granddad was Pop. And he sits right up there. And I've bought several of them over the years just because I always wanted one like his. And not my favorite look, but I always have one. So this guy, it ain't shutting on your hand if you have to open some Beanie Weenies. And most, we have cans these days that just pop open. We didn't have them when I was young. Sometimes you have to take your dang knife and open a dang can of soda. So knives are something that as guys, we just always carry a knife, always did, at least in my family and growing up. I always carried a pocket knife of some kind. And so I've been a knife lover since I was just a little bitty kid. And and my body getting where it doesn't quite want to do things like I used to, getting after them old deer hard like I always did, and fishing. And so I found a way to keep myself entertained and keep my mind focused on something, and found this whole world of learning of all these amazing things that have come out in the ensuing years between Case and my normal pocket knife life. And when Benchmade came out in the early 2000s, when I found them, and I fell in love with them. And in that time between, say, 2002 to 2026, I did not think I'd live this long. But we've got a whole amazing world of knives that we can enjoy and learn about and experiment with and collect that we never had before. And hey, I'm still collecting case knives. I still love them. And so it makes it a little harder when you love this and you love this, right? And let me, just for sake of size, love this. Yeah, this is PM2, so you can see a size kind of there. And I'll show you a PM3 just so you get that. Most you guys in the modern knife world kind of know about what size those are. So there we go with that. And I show you a bug out. A little Benchmade bug out that I love. And oh, have we got news about them, right? A whole bunch of new news about the new cases that are coming out. And me being a lover of all things green, it's going to be a big year for collecting Benchmade knives because the green is on the table. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a little bit of hope you got a little bit of knowledge out of it. And if you enjoy these, hey, hit the like button, subscribe if you'd like to. I would love to have you, and start doing some lives and just building a nice community to talk to each other, talk to one another, and do what I see in this great community where people just love on each other and share in their common love of knives. So I'm going to say adios to you, and I hope you know that the Lord loves you, and I love y'all too. And remember, the word of the Lord is sharp as a slicey blade. Y'all stay sharp. I'll see y'all on the next one.